Okay, Jose, if you'll grab one of those package, no, right in front of you. And if you'll sit at one of these tables, okay? Just don't, we're gonna social distance because there's only 4 of you in here, but I have 2 high schools that'll be with us, Post and Morton. I think that's right, yeah, Post and Morton are supposed to be with us. And, that's the nice thing about this class, is that, you only come for 50 minutes instead of an hour and 15 minutes. But as a result, we always have, not always, 90% of the time, you have something that's due on Friday, or maybe Sunday, because I have to get those minutes in. This is really called a hybrid class, truly. It's not like the flex, they had flex classes last year where because of COVID, odd and quirky things were happening, okay? But, so you don't come on Fridays, and actually this week you have something due every day except Saturday, okay? Sorry. But next week we miss Monday because it's Labor Day. So I've got to condense into these 2 weeks into 3 classes, what I would normally have into 4. And so, okay. But there's less coming up, I'll just tell you, all right? I've been teaching this a long time. And Labor Day just drives me. I like having it, but let's see. And I'm not sure, I actually have 2 sections from the Kids in Post. And so what you're seeing is this is a T1 line, which is it's not an internet line, it's a different kind of cable because it carries video and audio both. So, and there's a little bit of a delay. So, and they can't see you. The system is, I've taught ITV for 25 or 26 years. It's not as bad as it used to be when I first started doing it. It used to be like 3 or 4 second delay, so I'd talk and then I'd hear myself at the schools. So it's not quite that bad. But the screen will split, but the little red dot up in the corner, are y'all seeing it? Yeah, I turn around. The red dot up there, that tells you that we record all of my classes because you know how it is in high school. Maybe not as when you're in a big school. What school did you go to? O'Donnell? Oh, okay, yeah. Small town. How many in your graduating class? I graduated with 32. I have somebody from Monday who's in my 9 o'clock class, and she graduated with 14. So you're going to see Post is a large 2A, and Morton is a small 2A, I believe. So O'Donnell, I'm trying to remember. They go up and down sometimes. 10 kids can throw you over and put you in one, or 10 less can put you in another one. I taught at New Deal for 18 years, and I taught ITV College English at New Deal to places like Sudan and Shallowater and Lasbuddy and I'm trying to remember all. So I still have a lot of those schools showing up. So I still teach New Deal, okay? So they can't get rid of me. I imagine some of those kids would like to. We're just missing Reed, and then we've got we don't have as large a class for ITV from Post and Morton, so that's kind of nice. I have 30 on the TV at 3 different schools earlier, so let's see, 9:59. It should be coming in. I have my phone out because if it doesn't work, I have to let our technology people know that I don't have my schools. Where are they? So let me get in here. All right. And it cut off a minute early. I needed an extra minute because I wasn't finished talking, but I'll try to speed up for you guys. Oh, Schwann's is coming between 3:25 and 6:25 today. Okay. All right, hold on. All right, so I just sent a text asking where my schools were. Well. somebody's going in. Hopefully they'll find out. I also sometimes communicate with Region 17, who handles all of the, that's where a lot of the teachers go for professional development, things like that. But they also handle the high school part of the technology. But I'm trying to avoid doing that as much this year. Okay. So that's kind of an advantage for you. The smaller classes, I tend to like to grade their stuff sooner because I get through it quicker. All right. Well, while I've got you guys here, we'll go ahead and we'll just talk about what's going on. Are any of y'all taking any other courses that are solely online? Okay. Well, that's in other words where there's a portion of mine obviously that's online, but one of the things that SBC is doing is they're trying to standardize how all of our courses look through Blackboard. Did any of y'all go into Blackboard before today? Okay, it opened up on Thursday where you could look in it. And so what's going to happen? That's interesting. Let's go. Come here. Come on. There we go. So what's going to happen is when you go into Blackboard, most of them by next semester should look like this. There should be a heading that tells you South Plains College, and then your menus should look pretty much identical over here. So navigating through Blackboard, which is a learning management system, they call them LMSs, should be consistent across the board so that you're not trying to have to figure out, because everybody does things slightly different. So you're going to default and come in to start here. I don't know how familiar you guys are with things like that, but can you see right here on this side, there's a blue aqua line. If you ever go into Blackboard and all you see is this and you can't see a menu options on your left-hand side, see how that arrow is right there? Or the blue line, you can click the arrow or the blue line, and that gives you the menu. So here's your main navigation pattern through Blackboard, okay? So where it starts here, I'm going to push it back. Okay, Matt is working on it, so they're having problems. Already, we're having problems. Yes, first day, cool. Okay, I also have a course banner in mind so that you can tell where you are. But what it gives you is, here's the course, and I have 4 sections of SBC students. If it starts with 200, it's an SBC student class. 400, 441, 442, those are all my high schools. So they're in a slightly different course, okay? They're in the same course, but it has a different number. And so I just have some stuff up here. Technology requirements are kind of cool. Do you guys have laptops? Anybody have a Mac? Do you have Office on it?
Yeah.
Awesome, that's great. But you get free Office if you have. Do you guys have Chromebooks or anything like that? Chromebooks are inexpensive. That's why people have them. The point is Blackboard does not play nicely with Macs or Chromebooks. They don't like Google Docs. They don't like the Mac creating Word documents, PowerPoints kind of thing. They don't like that. So you have access. If you don't have Office on yours, down here, on Start Here, if you scroll down, you see technology requirements, but point 5 is Office 365, Word, and PowerPoint. You have free access to Office 365 as a college student. It goes for all of those high school kids too, okay? So it tells you to access it. It says click these links, and you can get to it, okay? And follow the directions on how to do it. But okay, there's Post. Hi, Post. Wow, they moved the camera. Awesome. Hey, I told Mr. Rathburn I never got a roster for you. Hey, Martin, I've got more than 2. I've got 5. Okay. Ms. McClendon, are you my facilitator?
Yes, ma'am. You wouldn't
No, I
believe
have a
how
new one.
fired up I am.
I cannot hear. Let's see. Oh, man.
That's a good thing,
We're
ma'am.
going to have problems with sound. Hold on. Let me come back over here. Hi. It's up all the way it'll go. So.
Can you hear us now?
I need somebody, if somebody could email me and tell me who the facilitator is, we never got that. So I was unable to send a copy of the syllabus to Martin for you guys to get it printed out. Whereas I did send it to Mr. Rathburn at Post, okay? He's been my facilitator, so. We were just basically going over what happens when you go into the course online now. And we're gonna go over the syllabus in a minute. If I start talking and I'm looking at my screen, say, you didn't punch the PC button, okay? To remind me that I need to put it so you can see it, okay? So, when you come in, it'll take you to Start Here. If you can't see this menu on the left-hand side, look for an arrow, look for a blue aqua line and click on it. But we're at Start Here, and that's where your course will default to right now. Free Office, because you are college students, you have access to free Office. And point 5 under technology tells you that. Netiquette rules are just be nice to each other. That's the main thing. You know, if you're in a discussion, talking with somebody, or if you're making comments on somebody's paper, be nice. Okay, it's my job to be mean when it comes to grading papers. That's my job. All right, that's not y'all's job. And so that's basically what's in Start Here. Let me come back over here. So the next thing we're going to look at, though, is instructor information. Instructor, if you need to communicate with me, go to instructor. I want you to make that connection. Communicating to the instructor, go to instructor information. And this gives you some information about me. You're welcome to read it. Did you glance over it? Okay, that's cool. See, I'm actually marking this individual absent right now. Read. Okay. So, I do take roll for you guys. I don't take roll for the high school. I don't want that responsibility of knowing who's not in class and who's not. They'll let me know when they're not gonna be there. But basically, I do try to answer email within 24 hours if you send me an email or a course message. But the easiest, and by the way, this is a South Park Studios avatar. I got really into making avatars several years ago, and I needed a picture of me, and this was the only one I could find on this computer, so that's my Halloween one. The best methods of communicating with me are through course messages. And course messages means that it's in your course. So if you need to say, hey, Ms. Thompson, I've got a flat tire, I'm not gonna make it to class today, you send me a course message. But you go into instructor information to do that. So you click on course messages. And you can send messages to other people in the class. You can send messages to these guys, and I don't see them because I wasn't the one you told to do it. So, there we go. It finally opened up. So you got to create a message. It's not hard. And you click on the to button, and this is a smaller class, so we can scroll through it and see that P. Thompson's right here. You've got a greater than and lesser than sign. Normally, I don't have my screen blown up this much. I do it because it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. You hit the greater than because it's an arrow going over here. So then I become the recipient, all right? You have to you can send copies to other people, but you can go subject. You're going to go trouble. Oh, it helps if I have my cursor in there. Trouble turning in work. And this is most frequently, or if you're going to be gone, those are the most often messages I get. So you go, I could not turn in my essay. It is attached, okay? So, because sometimes there are technology issues, and it doesn't go, and you know it's not in. So you're like, I want to make sure she knows I turned it in. So you send me a course message. Don't just say, I couldn't turn in my essay. Say, I couldn't turn it in. Here it is attached. And then you come down here, and it's got upload attachments. So you go to browse, and you go find your document, make sure it's titled. It could be titled paragraph, personal paragraph, whatever, narrative essay, and then you click open, and it attaches it. So now you've sent it, and I know you got it turned in. So one of the things you need to do at least once or twice a week is go in to course messages and see if I've sent any to you. Or I try to do most of the stuff in announcements, but because we see each other, it's, not as big a deal. My totally online classes, I do course message a lot. So when you go in and see, if you see that the sender is me, don't click on my name. That'll take you to nothing. Click on trouble turning in work. So when you send me something, so I see that Mateo sent me something, I can click on the message and it'll say, hey, I could not turn in my essay. It is attached, which I forgot the D. but I can click on graphic, your essay, and now I have a copy of it, and it's turned in on time. Does that make sense? Don't send me messages that says I couldn't turn something in without attaching it. It saves time, because if you send me that message that you couldn't turn something in, then I have to say, why didn't you attach it to the message you sent me? Because then it's turned in. Right, you with me? Don't just scream, I couldn't do it. There's a wolf, there's no wolf, put the wolf in there, or put it in there. So use course messages. The reason it is preferable for you to do course messages is because if you send me an email, I have not only you, but I have 95 students from Lubbock Cooper who will be sending me messages and emails. I have 7 or 8 schools, and if you send me an email, you need to tell me the course, 1301, and at the schools you can just say 1301 post Monday, Wednesday, or post Tuesday, Thursday, because I have them 2 days, or Morton, and that helps me, but it helps if you tell me what section it is. So you need to be aware. 201 for you guys, 442 for Post and Morton, okay? That's your section numbers. You don't even have to say 1301. You can just say 442, because I know what that is. Okay, so think about it. You need to give me section numbers. Okay, let's go back over here. I remembered to do it. It tells you where my office is. I teach in this building, only in this room, but I actually office in Building 3, which is, about a 10-minute walk across the campus, but I drive, okay? Let's see, my SPC email, they're in instructor information. There's also a link to course email, to email. That is SPC email. Again, it's not going to tell me what course you're in. You got to tell me that, okay? Or if you're at home and you've got Gmail, you can send me an email through Gmail. But if you can send me an email through Gmail, you can be in Blackboard and send it through Blackboard, okay? So that's instructor information. So communication with the instructor should go to instructor information. Let me come back over here. And if you want to go to SP Studios, you can make yourself an avatar, okay? I don't have any problems with that. Probably not at school, because it tends to be blocked by schools, right? Just because it's South Park, okay. Next up is syllabus and schedule. Hold on a second. Let me come over here. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rathburn. Because my phone, it does ding every time I get something. All right. We're going to go over to syllabus and schedule. This is what you've seen here is the syllabus that you've got in front of you. Sorry, Morton, you don't have it. But I do need an email to send one to somebody. Or the students, you guys have it, you have access. All you got to do is click on it, and it'll open up the same document, okay? And you can print it out from that way. Course calendar. This is something that I've not used in the past, but I think it's a great addition. And this tells you how to access it, but I thought, why make it so difficult? So right down here is calendar. That's a link to the calendar version of the syllabus. So when you go into it, you're going to see, here's August, and you're going to go, oh my gosh. Okay, over here on the left-hand side are all the courses I have ever taught for South Plains College. And there's a lot, okay? So, but you'll notice that that's clicked up there for institution, and then it's not clicked again until you get down to right here. That's this semester, okay? So, and there's different colors for different courses. So don't panic, though. Because what we're looking at is everything I have due for my big sophomore class. I only have work due for you guys for the next 2.5, 3 weeks. That's all I have in so far. Because I just got tired, okay? One of the things I'm going to work on over this week while you guys are doing work outside of class, I'm going to try to get most of the course set up. Okay? But when you go in, all it's going to show you is your single course. Let's see if that changes. If I come up here and turn off editing. No, it still has all my courses because I'm the instructor, okay? But when you go in, all you should see is my class, and if you have any other instructor that uses Blackboard for your work, you should see theirs also, if they use it. There's another email. But that's kind of handy, and it's a visual thing. If you have difficulties with procrastination, my suggestion is get yourself one of those little weekly planners and get all your syllabus in front of you and fill in what's due on what dates for every single course. And then you can see, okay, I've got this due on this date. This is also due for this other class. So you can visually see. That's why this calendar is handy. It can help you do that, okay? Now, SBC is requiring this on all dual credit courses. You have the advantage because I teach dual credit, so that's why it's looking like that. But for you guys at the high school, Mr. Hunt's stuff, I don't know if he's got all this done yet. I haven't seen Sandy this semester yet, but all of ours are supposed to look alike by next spring, so. Come back over here. All right, so that is syllabus and schedule. Come back over here. Announcements. In announcements, you're going to see a link to the YouTube recordings. So if you miss class, you are welcome to watch the YouTube to catch up on it. Because I won't go back and reteach. I don't have to reteach. I'm in college. So are you. Okay. I treat them like they're college kids. So I don't have to reteach. But there is a message in here for you three. If you're diagnosed with COVID, you do need to let our health and wellness nurse know this, and she will let you know if you can come to class. It's one reason why we're socially distancing in here, is in case. Because, to be honest, the portion of the population most frequently coming down with COVID right now are your age. Because you are so much more social than some of us old people, okay? Okay. All right, so all of the announcements will be up in here. But when you're in announcements, you can also see how it shows all of them. It'll show all your announcements. So once I get the link, once our IT people give me the link for the class recordings, I will have a link to class recordings. And your recording's not the same as the recording for my 9 a.m. class, and won't be the same as my recordings for Tuesday, Thursday. But the link will be good for every single class in the semester. You don't need a new one every time. I actually have 4 YouTube channels. Okay. And it's really boring. It's really depressing how often I wear black. So I'm just letting you know. Okay, so that's announcements. So now we're going to talk about the textbook. Everybody has access to the textbook right now. One of the reasons I went to, it used to be called Inclusive Access, now we're calling it textbook, okay? And it gives you access to the book right away. We don't have to wait. Used to be I had to wait for a week and a half for 2 weeks for the kids at the high school to get their books. I don't have to do that anymore because of this. So when you go in, and that menu on the left-hand side, see textbook, and then you come in and you click on it. For me, it shows every section I teach using this book, okay? So you find your section. So you guys will probably only see 201. I see everybody's. So there's 201 right there. And down below here is 442, okay? It doesn't matter, it's the same book. They just have to, for the publisher's purposes, they have to split it up into individual courses, okay? So I'm just going to click on the SBC section. So when you go into the book, it looks like this. And I know reading an e-text is not that easy. Have any of y'all dealt much with an e-text? If you want to opt out of it and go buy the book's probably about $60 to $75. The ebook, which was already included on your tuition, is paid for. But you have to opt out of it like this week, okay? Oh, sorry. It's showing me where I was in the last class. So here we go. When you come in, here's table of contents, so you scroll down. You can look at all this stuff up front, but I don't care about that. But you can click on Part 1, Essay Writing. You have stuff to read for tomorrow. Or you have reading for tomorrow, and that's Chapters 1 and Chapters 2, which is about essay writing. So you click on Part 1, or you can see, I think in the syllabus it says it begins on page 2. You can come up here to that little search thing and just type in 2, and it's going to take you to page 2, which is this. Your other option is to go, when you go into essay writing, it gives you the different sections. It gives you the chapters. The part ones are like big sections. The chapters come underneath those, so an introduction to writing. So the first things you have to read is an introduction to writing and then the writing process. Now, you'll want to get rid of the table of contents, okay? But you can always bring it back by going to main menu. So we've got essay writing. You can see there's some marks. Now, if I click here, it's going to take me to the next chapter, which is an introduction to writing. But you're supposed to read so you've got to be careful. Or you can click on that. They're all links. When you read an e-text, you don't have to read every single word, and it looks like you got to read 50 pages. You don't have to read. It's not 50 pages, okay? When you're reading a textbook, look for headings, look for subheadings. Look for a bullet list, things they pull out, okay? There will be quizzes over chapters 1 and 2 out of the textbook. They are due Friday, I think, maybe Thursday, can't remember, okay? But you're gonna see there's a big picture, and as you scroll, see, there's no page number, but as you scroll, see how it says page 2 down here, right there? So here's page 3, there's a reading, see, there's a list, point and support, okay. We're on the next page, the hazards of movie-going, entertaining little paragraph there. You don't have to do the activities, okay? Don't panic, you don't have to do those activities, all right? And sometimes what we may do in class is when we get into writing a narrative, writing a compare and contrast, we'll actually look at the sample essays. So it will be handy if you have a laptop to look at your book, okay? I have one book in here, and it's hard, to share it for 3 people, so, all right. So, but you don't have to do that. Point and support in an essay. Structure, the 5-paragraph essay. Here's that hazards of movie going in an essay version now. Parts of an essay. Activity 2, don't have to do it, okay? So it's not really 50 pages, it's maybe 25 total, once you toss out all the activities, okay? There's an activity 4. Here's a good one. Here is the diagram of an essay, what it should look like. Introduction, body, conclusion, okay? Y'all all took the STAR, right? Or did you just graduate? Okay. All right, so, yeah, I don't like the STAR, I'm just gonna tell you. It's not college level writing, because one of the things you don't have to do you don't have to put indent paragraphs. You're trying to conserve space on that STAR test, right? You have limited space to write that in characters. So as a result, you don't do things that we do when we're normally writing an essay, which is indent a paragraph. Okay, so that's enough, I'll quit saying. Benefits of writing the traditional essay. So just to show you what it looks like. And so writing is a process, yeah, that's it looks like I drew that. Writing is a way to communicate, we're not gonna keep a journal, I'm sorry. If you have a journal, then I have to grade it. Why would I wanna do that? That's just, the very first semester I was a TA at Tech in the English department. I had my students keep a journal, and I had like 50 total students, but I taught in one building that was right close to the English building, and then I had to walk from the English building over to the BA, which was a 5-minute walk with 25 journals in my hands. That was a mistake, so that's when I stopped journaling, okay? And using technology, this is just some obvious stuff, using a computer, pre-writing, but just glance over it, because you are taking a quiz over this. MLA format, that is what we teach. There's a 1-inch margin, okay? And I'll come back into that in a bit. It's double space, okay? They don't double space there, that drives me crazy, all right? And then that's the first one. So that's just the textbook. So now let's go look at, let me get out of there. Get out of the textbook. All right, gonna go down to announcements. I've already shown you that textbook. The next big thing that's important is course content. That's where all of the stuff, all the handouts that I have in the course will be in there eventually, okay? So when we click on course content, you're gonna see, and this should be standard across the board, that it's set up as weeks. Previously in the past, I always did units on the main menu, because we write a narrative, we write, descriptive narrative, all the types of essays, I would put those in there. That's gone. We're doing weeks, okay? So when you go into week 1, that's today, you're gonna see that there's a checklist. Welcome, syllabus overview, e-textbook, discussion board, we're gonna get to all that, okay? Read chapters 1, intro, did I do discussion board with you guys? Remind me to do it before the end of class. This just tells you what you have to do this week. And there are 6 things on there. Technically, there's more, because you have the discussion boards and the quizzes are due on the 2nd, which is Thursday. Okay? Just as a heads up, the kids at the high schools, Morton and Post, will take those quizzes during their class, because they meet. Post, are you on a block schedule, Post? Are you every day? I know we're having some issues with sounds from the schools. But the good news is, you don't have to take the test during class. It opens up at 8 a.m. in the morning and it shuts down at midnight. So you have 16 hours to take the quiz in, all right? So be careful not to wait until 11:48, because I actually give you an hour, and if you go over the time, it might kick you out, okay? There's a writing process PowerPoint. I don't really want to go over it, because you're going to be reading about that in your first 2 chapters. Formatting documents for class. I have a sample document for you in here. When it opens up, it's Word. So when you download Word, get that free Office on your computer, okay? You can open it up and you can just go, File, Save As, and now you have a document that's already formatted correctly. It's already got double spacing in it. When you write, if you create a document from scratch, for me, I want it double spaced, because I will grade every essay written in this class by hand, because I make lots of comments. That's my job, is to tell you what you're doing wrong, mainly what you're doing wrong, but I try to tell you occasionally when you do something right, so it's not all negative, okay? So you put your name. I'm going to blow this up so we can see it more easily. It's your name, then it's my name, then it's going to be the course. English 1301, 159 was a summer school section that I taught. Change the section to 201, 442, okay? Make sure you've got the right section, and it's always day, month, year. That's MLA. The rest of the world does day, month, year. The U.S. is the only ones who do month, day, year. And you know, let's just to show you quickly. Let me come over to the document camera. Okay? So when you see month, day, year, and it's never done with slashes, you always write it out. So when we write out August 30th, 2021, what you'll see sometimes is 8, or when, 8, or, when you see that, it's just a bunch of numbers. So it's confusing, because you have to put the punctuation in. So when you go, hold on. My mind's going bad. I'm getting old. 30 August 2021. I know that has to be the day, because there aren't 30 months, August 2020. There's just a period to show the punctuation for the abbreviation, and then the year. That's just how MLA is. And that's how most of the rest of the world does it. They do day, month, year. We just have to be different. Please notice that the title, personal paragraph, is centered, and then if you look over here, let me scooch back out so you can see. See how that is indented? The first line of a paragraph is indented. Let me get there. Sorry. Okay, the first line of a paragraph is indented. That's a visual organization clue. So you've got to do that. I mean, I have kids who will never indent a paragraph. So your essay's one paragraph to me as an instructor. No, you need the paragraphs. So the first thing you're writing is a personal paragraph, okay? That doesn't mean you're going to begin that with, my name is so-and-so, and I graduated from, or I go to. I don't want you to tell me that. That's boring. I can guess that. I already know. O'Donnell, I already know it. That's why I asked, okay? So that's in there. That's under week 1. Paragraph handouts, they're in here. I will have copies for you on Wednesday. You have to write a paragraph and turn it in to me by Friday. It's not a big deal. It's only worth 30 points. Not a big deal, okay? But all the documents are in there. Introductory discussion board. So here we are. So I'm in as a student right now, so you're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing what you would see when you go in. You click on discussion board. You go create thread, and you're going to see there were questions when you first saw the discussion board. They're at the top of this. I make sure they're in there so you can see it. And the first one says, I'm just going to go about me. You can do whatever you want in there, but the first one is, I can't even remember. What was your favorite toy when you were 10? My favorite toy was my Barbie doll house. Okay, it was cardboard. It was pretty cool. Okay, that's how long ago it was made out of cardboard, not plastic. Okay, all right. Cancel. All right. So 2 was if you had a superpower, what would it be? My power would be to fly. I'm not getting real elaborate, am I? What would you choose to eat for your last meal ever? Let's go steak and baked potato. It was Mexican food at 9 a.m. Okay. 4 is, who would you want to be stranded on a desert island with? Oh gosh. Chris Pratt. I can't spell. Chris Pratt for humor. And Chris Hemsworth, Fort Lux, okay? Because they're pretty hot guys, okay? And then the last one, what was the last book you read that wasn't a textbook? It was called The Penderwicks. I can hear somebody talking, but I can't understand you. It's not very loud, so I've got my mic, everything for me is up as completely as loud as it will go. Penderwicks at Last is actually a Newbery winner, and it's youth, okay? So I click submit, and then what, it actually says in there that you need to respond to 5 other people not at your school. That's gonna be difficult, you know. You guys can respond to anybody. I don't want everybody that posts, and then you sit next to those people. You don't have to tell them, okay, what you already know. You just click on, see how it's got, it shows up in there, About Me. Don't click on my name. That's not where the message is. Click on About Me. You can even respond to me as one of them. You only have to do 3. I'm gonna go in and correct that. 5 is too many. I don't want, you know, particularly when there's only 12 in the class, okay? So you just click reply, and then you say, oh, I have a Barbie doll house. Yeah, Mateo has a Barbie doll house, yeah. I love my Barbie doll house, okay? So you just do that, and then you click submit. And so you can go in and find out something, who agreed with you or whatever. And it's amazing how many of you don't read, if you can possibly get out of it. You're missing out. And I'm sorry, don't tell me the last thing you read was a Facebook posting, or, that's why you guys like TikTok, and Instagram does have words on it, but it tends to have a lot of pictures too, doesn't it? So I don't belong to Instagram. So you don't really want to read, am I correct? Right? Okay, so there we go. So that's what you're going to do with the discussion board. I went over that. See what else is here. I'm going to actually turn back on the instructor view so that you can see. Now, things that will not show up when you're in there are the quizzes for Chapter 1 quiz and Chapter 2 quiz. Okay? I don't know why that one, yeah. I've got them due on the 3rd, but it says the 2nd on the syllabus, I believe. I'm gonna have to fix that, don't worry. And personal paragraphs, all right? So don't panic. Does it say the 2nd on the syllabus? I think it does. But I don't want everything due on the same day. Yeah, it says complete introductory discussion board and take quiz over chapters 1 and 2. So that's 2 quizzes. But yeah, I've got to go in and change the dates on that, okay? So that is what's due this week. This week and next week are busy, again, because we don't have classes on Monday, and that's the issue. I've got to try to get through all the stuff about writing process really quickly. So you can see it's a little bit less, but you have more reading, and we start working on the narrative, okay? I'll go back to course content. You can always do the breadcrumb trail. I actually only have stuff set up for you guys. I don't even have week 5, so maybe week 4. I was trying to get it done, but I have to do it in 4 classes, so it takes me a little while, so I was just trying to make sure. Yeah, I do have week 4. But if you look at the checklist, they are copied right off of the syllabus. So they should match up. There shouldn't be any difference. Sometimes I get dates wrong. I'm just going to be honest. I apologize. It happens. Okay? One of the things I need to do, though, I just realized I didn't have my grades in there, so I need to make a tool link to my grades. I got to make it smaller so I can get to this arrow, so that you can see what's coming up. Make it available. Yeah, in addition to teaching, we also have to know how to program stuff. So my grades, I'm going to take it up here for course resources. So when you click on my grades, it's going to show you everything that's assigned right now. So you can actually check and see what's going on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over and open up the syllabus. Why did I open? That's the wrong one, dummy. Here we go. Here's y'all. And we'll go through it very quickly. I'm not going to read you everything on it. I teach back-to-back dual credits Monday, Wednesday, 9 and 10 o'clock. And you normally, it just happens this week you've got stuff due on other days besides Fridays or Sundays. I tend to make most stuff due on Fridays or Sundays, okay? And I know you guys have jobs? Yeah. That's why you guys have from 8 in the morning until midnight to get stuff done when it's, when it's the quizzes, okay? Instructor, here's my office number, 716-2438. You can call and leave me a message if you need to, but I don't even get over to the building until after this class. So if you're calling, if you want to say, hey, I'm not going to be there, I won't know about it till I get over there. I'll know you weren't here. That's all I'll know, okay? My office hours are right after this class, and right after Monday, Wednesday. So I'll be in my office where you can call me from 11 to 1, Tuesday, Thursday from 10 to 2. Friday's appointment only because on Fridays, I go out and visit my high school so they can actually see me in person, okay? And I don't know if I'm going to make it to anybody this Friday just because I just don't know. It's hard to go this early in the semester, particularly since they have stuff that's due. Prerequisites, TSI and all that stuff. Here again, if you got in early and opened up the syllabus, you could see that it says, don't buy the book. The bookstore here sold somebody a book for my class, though it's inclusive. And it's not even my class. I don't even know what that came from, so that's really strange. You can opt out of the inclusive access book, which means you need to buy a hard copy, but you're looking at least twice as much and maybe more, maybe $100 versus $30 for the online course, for the ebook, okay? But if you have trouble, you can always contact one of the bookstore managers. I would deal with A. Gamble. She's the person who's in charge of the bookstore here, the second one. Grading breakdown. All right, we've got reading quizzes. They're 8 at 15 points apiece. That's 120 points. I teach on a 1,000 point scale, which is not, I don't do math, but I do math actually because of that. So that if I have a 1,000 point scale, an A is 900 to 1,000 points. A B is 800 to 900, 899. So you don't ask me what your average is because I don't like to figure averages. I just do a point total. It takes a step out of that process. Do you see where I'm going with that? There's drafts and peer revision. Paragraph narrative, you're going to see we only have 4 major writing assignments: a narrative, a compare and contrast, summary, and argumentative. And actually the summary and paraphrase are part of the argumentative essay. So, did you guys write research papers last year?
We only wrote one.
You only wrote one in the whole,
One the whole way.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You're going to get your second one already, okay? But we have to get it done so I have enough time to grade 100 of them before finals. So, all right. Reflective writing, that's going to come in at the end of the semester, I believe. And there are 4 grammar quizzes. They're worth 25 points apiece. I only cover, that's 10% of your final grade is only dedicated to grammar quizzes. When you write an essay, guess what? If you have troubles with grammar, it's going to show up, okay? If it makes, and there, on the syllabus, it kind of gives you a breakdown. I'm not as strict as some of the other teachers about it. I mean, you can have a couple of comma splices. You can have some major errors and still make an A if you wrote really well, okay? If you have trouble with complete sentences, it's a different story, all right? But the first quiz is going to be over comma splices fused run-on sentences. The second quiz is over subject, verb, pronoun, antecedent agreement. I'm dealing with the major errors. The third one is over apostrophes because we don't know when to use them. It's amazing how badly humans use apostrophes, okay? And we'll put an apostrophe on a verb because there's an S on the end of it. Because it means it's possessive. No, it doesn't. Okay. And then that's the first 3 quizzes. And then the fourth quiz is just you're going to be tested over all 3 of them, okay? And I don't have to grade them. I got that worked out, so they're multiple choice or true false, so I don't have to do any grading. Makes it quicker. And then there's a final exam, which is an essay, but I grade it. I don't print those out. I will grade all of your stuff by hand except for that final exam. I will grade it. I'll open up your essays and I'll just look at it and I'll go, okay, it's a B, and I'll put a B grade on it. Maybe a high B, it may be a low B, or it could be an A. All right. So the total is 1,000. I left off the 900. I need to put that grading breakdown back in there. I'll put it somewhere for you guys. This is just some stuff we have to have in our syllabus. It's required by the accreditation board for community colleges. Student learning outcomes the same way. But here's the important thing. We're going to write a minimum of 3,000 words this semester, okay? That doesn't mean in one essay. That means everything you write in the semester. So when you do that discussion board, that's part of the words. When you write a draft, that's part of the words. So by the end of the semester, you will have done 3,000 words, okay? but at least you're not writing one essay 6 times. There are some people that do that. Here's a brief overview of what's an A, what's a B, C, D, and F. Your responsibility is to be in class on time, participate. You need to have read, and particularly when we have the draft due and we do peer revision in class, you need to have your paper done, because I look at it, but you also will look at each other's essays, okay? And it's not necessarily because so-and-so's smarter than so-and-so. What it is that you need to see what other people are writing, because you just don't read. Do any of you like to read? Well, I got negatives from, anybody like to read at Post? Morton? Yeah, see, I'm not seeing that information, so, if you don't, one of the things that makes you a better writer is to be a reader. And so, I wouldn't expect you to be able to give great grammar information or organizational information to another person in the class, but at least you're seeing what somebody else is writing, and hopefully, once we get done with the personal paragraph, you'll think, oh, wait a second, this paragraph doesn't make sense. This has nothing to do with what you said you were going to talk about in the paragraph. And that's one of the biggest problems for kids is you don't know how to keep a paragraph on topic. And that's one of the things, that's why we're working on that first. Okay, let's see what else is over here. Absence performance policy. Unlike many instructors at the college level, I will accept late work up to 3 days late, class days. So if something was due on Friday night and you haven't turned it in Monday, it's a day late. It's 10 points off. Tuesday, it's 20 points off if it's a 100-point scale. And Wednesday, it's 30 points off. If it was only worth 25 points, you only lose 10% of the grade. After 3 days, I'm not going to grade it. Don't turn it in. Okay, so if somebody dies in your family, let me know when it happens. How, you really, I'm not asking you to, to bear your grief to me, but please say, Ms. Thompson, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be in class and I'm not going to be able to finish my paper on time because this has happened, okay? Now, if you have 6 relatives die over the course of the semester, that's a problem. That's probably not the truth, right? But I will take it up to 3 days late. After that, don't ask me. And by the way, just as a heads up, that introductory discussion board is worth 5 points. That's extra credit. So when you go and look at my grades in the grade book, and it says that you have 755 points out of 1,005, my grade scale is 1,000. I don't care what extra credit I've given you. If you have 895 points, or 895 points out of 1,020, I'm going to give you an A, because I'm looking at 1,000, not 1,020. Okay, so you see what's going on. There will be a little bit of extra credit. There's not going to be huge, big numbers, but there will be some. Classroom decorum, we behave. I'm just going to tell you, particularly at the schools, it's a little harder with Morton because they're so far across. But okay. Thank you, Ms. Ramsey. It's nice. I'm looking at I get my email on my phone. So, but if you're in class and I'm talking and I look up and I see you doing this, what are you doing? You're on your phone. I'm not stupid. I know you're on your phone. Particularly the kids at Post, or if you're sitting off camera and I never see you, that's the first clue you're probably not paying attention, you guys. But even here, and I understand you have jobs, you have people, things going on in your life. If you get a phone call and you're expecting, just say, if you come in and say, oh, I'm expecting a phone call, it's pretty important. Or if your work calls you, just walk out and go answer the phone, okay? That's okay. But if you're on your phone because you're playing pool against your friend, you're paying money to take this class. Use your head. It can wait. The only reason I know that is because I was showing I could see that I actually heard from Mr. Rathburn, so I've got, mine gives me a lot of information. And my family is notorious for forgetting that I teach. And they like to call me while I'm teaching. And I'm like, my husband has had a stroke. He's disabled, so he's at home, hopefully taking care of himself. Hopefully he's awake by now. But sometimes, if he calls, I need to answer it because it could be an emergency. But that's just as a heads up. So, plagiarism, let's talk about that. You're expected to do all your own work on projects, quizzes, assignments, and papers, all right? So, first thing we'll talk about are those grammar quizzes. When you have those grammar quizzes, we're going to actually go over we'll spend a little bit of time working on them in class. I'll have some handouts for you, maybe some worksheets. when you take the quiz, you can use the handouts and the worksheets over grammar. Because you are not English teachers, are you? Why would I expect you to be able to do well if, you know what I'm saying? You see that, I see that as a paradox. I don't want you, when you write a paper, to totally ignore the grammar book or your handouts. Oh, yeah, she said that I have trouble with comma splices. Let me get that out so that, didn't cut myself, so that I can, you know, work on that and work on that. I want you, I think it's more valuable if you can know how to go somewhere and find the information so you can get something right. Doesn't that make sense? Now, that's not necessarily, I don't want the doctor in the middle of removing my appendix to have to stop and go online to read how to do it. That's a different skill. It's not the same. But for grammar, for writing, I think you should be able to use the grammar book. So you can use that. It's a little hard to use your e-text because there is a grammar unit, there is grammar and mechanics and punctuation in there, whereas the handouts would probably do you more good, specifically on subject, verb, pronoun, antecedent agreement, and apostrophes. The rules are all there on the handouts, okay? Plagiarism. Okay, I'm going to talk about last year. I had a student on the argumentative essay from one of my schools, not you guys, and they turned in a paper that, and you're going to be turning all of your papers in. I haven't done this previously, but I am this year. You're going to turn all of your final versions of your work in through Turnitin, which is a plagiarism checker. Well, I just did it on the argumentative essay last year, and guess what? This paper was plagiarized. It wouldn't be so bad, but it was this student's older sibling's paper that had been turned in my class. Okay? That's not being very smart, and I've had it happen in my big sophomore lit class. I had some kids from, I'm not going to tell you what town, but they turned in somebody else's work from a previous year. Don't do that. Now, you can plagiarize once and I'll give you a 0. Don't ask to make it up. You made the choice to plagiarize. If I catch it, if you've had to change it so much that it can't be caught, then why didn't you just write the paper originally? You would spend more time trying to not get caught, you know? So, you know, the whole point is if you plagiarize twice, you're going to get an F in the class. And I've never done that to anybody, though I have made people, what happens is if somebody plagiarizes, chances are they're not putting the effort in, so they need to drop, okay? And that's plagiarism. Cheating. The only thing you can cheat on might be the grammar quizzes, but I've already told you to use your handouts on those, right? Now, the only way y'all could cheat is if you decided to exchange phone numbers with each other here and say, get on phone, hey, are you taking it, Mateo? And, yeah, okay, well, what'd you get, you know? But that's almost more trouble than it's worth because you'd have to coordinate your schedule.
Your conference is scheduled to end in 2 minutes.
Oh, what did I forget? I showed you discussion board. Okay. Student code of conduct, policy, disability. If you have a learning issue, please contact student services here. You just tell me you have one won't work. I have to receive paperwork, whether at their high schools or you're sitting in the class. Oh, that's right, we did start late. I believe in diversity. I only discriminate against stupidity. That gets me down, okay? Campus and concealed carry. You have to be 21 to actually have a gun anyway, so, okay, we're safe. Here's the syllabus, all right? Here it is, so that you're looking at the same thing. If there are errors in it, please let me know, but not everybody, because sometimes I have to create a Monday, Wednesday, and a Tuesday, Thursday schedule. I'll just tell you, and sometimes I get things wrong. But it may look like there's a lot, but a lot of times I'm just assigning you reading for a Sunday night so that when you come into class on Monday morning, you've read so I don't have to go back over what you should have already read, okay? This is college. We expect you to do the stuff ahead of time, all right? And that's just your schedule. And by the way, your final is going to be due by noon on Monday, December 13th. And then you're done with this class. And just as a heads up for you guys, college classes, the week of finals, you only go to your final exam time. You don't go to your normal class times, okay? So that's the first day. We're going to be doing personal paragraphs. We're going to talk about that and go over and talk about charting the paragraph on Wednesday, so we're going to be kind of busy. So be sure you're here, okay? And hopefully our connection will happen on time, okay? So that got me done at 10:49:58. That's 2 minutes. That's pretty quick. So, but let's see. So if you have
Your conference is now over.
So the next
Goodbye.
class period is 8. It starts at 11, right? So you have enough time. If you go somewhere else, you can. There's nowhere to get drinks here except the bookstore. Most of the buildings have, vending machines in them. I have a refrigerator and a microwave in my office because it's too far to go eat anywhere, so. But there's a good possibility next fall we'll be downtown at the Lubbock Center. And not at the Lubbock Center, at the old city hall. They sold it to SPC for us to move. We're gonna move most of this stuff here, down there. Okay? So, great. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Or are you gonna run dropping it going, it's too much? It's not. It gets easier. The closer we get to the end of the semester, the less work there is. Does that make sense? Because I'm having to grade. Okay. All right.